Hey there, Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. And today I want to talk to you. I want to dive deep into these Ophire crochet hooks. And I'm going to be comparing these with the closest thing that I have found, which is the Furls crochet hook. We're going to dive deep into comparing these two hooks today, so stay tuned. Hey there, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I have been working with some new crochet hooks this year. I wanted to kind of expand away from my tulips just to kind of try some other products out and see what was out there. And I had been recommended many times to the Furl crochet hooks, these guys right here. All right. And I'm comparing them today to the Ophire crochet hook, which now I know that Furls does have some wood hooks, and I have some wood hooks as well. But today I'm only comparing the resin hooks because I'm doing like, right? So this is my Ophire hook and this is my Furls hook. And we're going to dive deep to see which one, in my opinion, is better and why. Now, first of all, I purchased all these hooks with my own money. The companies did not ask me to do this. They did not send me any free product. This is my own personal opinion about these hooks. I've been hearing about the Furls hooks, and they are beautiful. And they've come in all the different colors. We've got the red and the green. So I thought I'm going to give them a try. Now, I just recently, and you all saw that I did the video, got into these Ophire hooks. And so I started out. So here's how this whole thing went down. I bought a kit last year from Furls, and it included all these yarns. It included this huge, big thing of yarns, all these different colors. And I was doing something called it's called the middle finger blanket. And I got all these yarns in here. So I don't remember how many colors there are. There's quite a few, 20 some odd colors. And to buy the kit, you got the yarns, you got a crochet hook, you got the pattern, and then you got to pick out a bag. It wasn't cheap. It was like $100 and some odd. So I'm working with this pattern, and this is basically what we're making here. It's really a larkspur foot. Okay, this is what we're working on here. They call it the middle finger pattern. I'll probably just call it the larkspur because, I think I don't want to put bad juju out there, even though I know it was all done in the right frame of mind and things like that. Anyways, so I'm working with this yarn. This came from Furls, right? And I'm using the hook size that they called for, which was a size 5, this guy here. And I'm really getting frustrated because, number one, I'm not a big fan of this yarn. I'm finding I'm not a big fan of this yarn. It's very fiddly. It splits really easy. It's a cheap yarn. We talk a lot about inexpensive, good value yarns on this channel. And this stuff here is not the cheapest that I've come across. And yes, it's very soft, but it's got this halo that you see that is coming off while I'm crocheting. And it's a real pain in the butt. I'm like, right? And I'm seeing like these little tufts flying around, which I'm not a fan of. All right. I wasn't planning on, crocheting with cashmere or Angora at the time. And so I wasn't really prepared and I wasn't wanting to commit to that. But number two, it's very, I say fiddly. The yarn splits really easily. So I'm using this hook and I'm finding that the yarn fibers are splitting really bad with this. All right. So I'm not a big fan. I started using my Ophire hook. Now, this pattern calls for going to a size 5, but I felt that it was just too, I wasn't getting the really good gauge in the tight stitches that I wanted, so I dropped down to a 4, which is when I brought in my Ophire hook. I love how this is working out. And I was so impressed with the difference between the two that I'm like, all right, what is going on? Why do I like this one so much better than this one? And when I really started digging down and doing an anatomy of the hooks, I figured it out. So I'm going to show you right here what I'm talking about. So I'm using the Furls hook, and what I'm finding is that it splits the yarn, and it's hard to grab the yarn, but it's been splitting the yarn and not keeping really good gauge. And I used different size hooks with with different yarns. I've been working with a couple different crochet projects, and I'm just not a really big fan. I was having a hard time to get it to grab a hold of the yarn, and I was getting a hard time with it digging in. As you can see, there's a lot of areas where it's just, I'm not able to keep really good tension with this hook, and it's splitting the yarn. So when I switched over to the Ophire hook, all right, so I pulled together my 2 size 5s. This is my Furls and this is my Ophire. And if you look closely at the heads, you'll see this one is a lot sharper and pointed down, a lot more severe, if you will. And this one's a little bit more rounded, but it also has more room up here in the neck. And it was easier for me to grab the yarn. With this one here, I was splitting the yarn up inside here, and I was not enjoying. Now, let me show you another yarn that I've been working with that calls for the same size hook. This is a size 5. These are both size 5s, and this is calling for a size 5. Now, this yarn is a little bit thicker, as you can see, right? But they both call for a size 5. I really like how this Ophire hook feels in my hand. It's really comfortable. The grip isn't too big, so it's got a nice ergonomic feel to it, nice ergonomic handle. What I also like is that the head of the crochet hook is a little bit more curved, so it's not splitting my yarn, and it has a nice big open neck here. It's not too severe, so it's really easy for me to reach in and grab that yarn, whereas some of them with a smaller neck, it doesn't grab all the yarn. Now this is a pretty thick, it's a woolen acrylic yarn by Katya. It's pretty thick, and yet it's doing a great job grabbing the whole entire strand of yarn, all the plies. And I feel like I can go pretty quick through my yarn and through my stitches with this. And as you can see, it's not splitting my yarn. As you can see, the head is just really nice. It's not that pointed, so it's not going to split my strands. And I really love how this feels as it just works through my yarn. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 2 rows using my Furls crochet hook and see how it feels. If it's the same, better, or different. So here's my Furls hook crochet hook. But if you look at the head, you can see that it's a lot more pointed. I've been having problems where it's not able to grab all the yarn inside this small little hook there. See? And it does tend to split my strands. This is the same size as the Ophire. They're both size 5 hooks. So I'm trying to compare apples and apples here. I'm having a hard time grabbing. I found I was doing more of this and fixing a stitch than I was sailing through my crochet. So it's okay. It's okay. They're both kind of doing the job. Let's look at this thinner yarn that I got that is actually from Furls. Now, this yarn is their own brand. It's 100% acrylic, and it's called Wander. This yarn is $5 a skein, and it is 100% acrylic. Like I said, it's a weight of 4, but it's 120 yards. To me, that's a lot of money for 100% acrylic yarn at $5 a skein and only 120 yards. I think that's a lot of money. It does have a nice sheen. It's got a little bit of a fuzz to it, which makes me wonder if it's going to pill, but it splits really bad. If you look here at this work, you can see how the yarn is just kind of splitting. Here it's split in a stitch, and there's just a lot of area, like here, there's a lot of areas where the yarn just split. And it was partially, I think, because of the hook. So I'm going back using the hook that it calls for. And I think it's also the yarn as well. So in doing a side-by-side comparison of these two, this is my Furls and this is my Ophire. I like the way they both feel in the hands. All right. Furls has a little bit of a wider grip, but that really just depends on the size of the hook that you get. What I like about the Ophire more than the Furls is the head of the hook. If you notice here, the hook on the Furls is very sharp and has a pretty severe deep neck here, so it's sometimes hard to get different fiber yarns up inside here. And these are both size 5. This one here is a little bit more rounded, but there's more space here under the neck, which gives you more room for your thicker yarns to come into. I also like that the head is not quite as severe, because this here tends to get into the yarn and split my yarn. This one here isn't doing that. Both of these feel about the same in weight and in grip. They're both pretty soft and they feel really nice. Now, here's another big difference. The Furl hooks start at about $24, $26 and they go all the way up to $29.30. The Ophire hooks consistently come in at $16.99. That's a big difference between them. So all of them come in at about $16.99, and there's even some that are on sale. The other nice thing about the Ophire that I really appreciate is every hook, when you order it, comes in this nice little travel carrying case, which works really well to keep your hooks nice and secure. I have ordered some hooks in the past from Furls with the head that's been actually broken off. So with the Ophire, you don't have to worry about that happening. You can keep this container, it's pretty sturdy, and you can carry. And if you decide you want to order extra of these kits, they're $2.99 a piece. So it's a pretty good. If you want to go up a little bit, they have these really great new travel cases. This is 100% leather, and this holds 3 crochet hooks. And it's actually, I've been using it and it feels really, really nice. So I feel secure with my Ophire hooks that I can just put them in here and I can just close it up, pop, and go, and take this right with me. So really just comparing the two. And again, I compared the Furls along with the Ophire hooks just because they were the only 2 kind of resin hooks that I have. I'm finding I'm actually really preferring the Ophire. I really like the head. I like the feel. I like the price. These are coming in at $16.99, and the Furls are starting at, like I said, $24 all the way up to like $30. Give these guys a try. I'm really, really impressed. I spent a lot of time this weekend. I was working on this middle finger blanket that I ordered the yarn from Furls. Not a big fan of this yarn. I'm telling you right now, personally, I don't like spending $5 for 120 yards of 100% acrylic. So comparing the two, I was able to do a side-by-side comparison. I think for me, the Ophire hook is going to win out. I actually think I'm going to go out and get some more of these guys. I really, really like the way these feel. I'm really happy with these. Love the way it's working through my yarn. Now that I've had a chance to kind of get to use them and get to know them, I like them. So I'm including a link below to the Ophire website. You can check them out yourself, see what's on sale. They do have some of the Barbie hooks if they're still available. When I checked last week, there was only like 2 sizes that were still available, like a size 9 and a size 10. But if you want to check them out and see, I'll include a coupon code below where you can get 20% off of the Barbie hooks on sale. So I'm going to include that link as well. So there you go. This is I'm saying unbiased review because I paid for both of these hooks. Checking them out. I'm digging the Ophire. Between the Furls and the Ophire, my vote goes for Ophire. So check them out and see what you think. It's not going to break the bank. Thanks so much for watching. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. And as always, bringing you more tutorials, more reviews, more podcasts, more fun. So tell your friends about us. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my notifications. And as always, I'll see you soon.